Hey, Dan here, and I just finished up an ENFP Unleash coaching call, and something came up on the call, which is two strengths that you should really embrace and enjoy as an ENFP. And I gotta be honest, it's about 8 at night here in Prague. It's warm out, and I did not feel like setting up the studio lights and all that, so you're getting a bit of a different view for this video. So, these two strengths. There's a couple things that as an ENFP we absolutely love doing, and sometimes we don't necessarily embrace the things we love. We often grow up with parents or with other people that put different values on us, and the things that we really love doing, we maybe shy away from because we enjoy it so much, and we think, hey, that's not the good old Puritan work ethic, right? If we enjoy it, maybe we should do it less. And both of these things, and don't worry, I'm getting there in just a second, both of these things sometimes don't pay off right away. They don't have the same immediate rewards that other activities might. But in the long run, these can be two of the most rewarding things we can do. And in my own experience, and on the call as well, Kim actually helped really spark this idea and shared some of this advice for younger ENFPs. It's really paid off in both our lives in the longer term. So the first thing is the love of learning. As an ENFP, I'm sure you love to learn. I have probably listened to 100, 150 audiobooks, something like this. Some of them still are sparking thoughts I have and things that I end up sharing in videos. I don't necessarily share like a book summary, but something I read in a book 10 years ago, for instance, the book The Power of Habit. I can remember listening to that while walking down the street in San Jose, Costa Rica, which would have been the start of 2012. And things that it talked about in that book, I still reference and think of all the time when I'm coming up with videos or advice or different things like this. And so this learning that you may love doing, and that may sometimes feel like I'm learning way too much, I need to be doing, and yes, sometimes that is true. You need to be doing and not always learning, definitely. But do not feel that it will ever be a waste. The more learning that you do now, it will all stay in your head. You're not going to forget it, and it can help build a really great base of knowledge. And then over time, you end up applying more and more of that knowledge. The second thing is connections and meeting with people. Surprise, surprise, as an ENFP, you probably make friends quite easily. You probably love connecting with people and making new contacts, maybe staying in touch. Now, I'm guessing staying in touch isn't easy for you in terms of an organizational point of view, but that you love just generally like knowing people and keeping up with them and things like this. And so those networks, those people you meet are going to be one of the most valuable assets you have as you go forward. Whether it's for support, for other people they know, for being your first clients, whatever it happens to be, know that those connections you're making now are going to be really valuable in the future. And one of the reasons that they may be so valuable is you're not making them now in a cutthroat, I want to make money, I'm only being your friend for that reason kind of approach. You're making these connections because you actually care about the people and you want to get to know them and make friends and all that sort of thing, which is why often the connections you're making will be so valuable in the long run. At the event I hosted last week here in Prague, one of the participants, Tara, one of the nights when we were out walking around, I overheard her saying something to someone else at the event, that something like one of the best things about working with Dan is all the people he knows. And it's just crazy the amount of connections, because I think in Tara's case, I've referred her 2 or 3 different clients she's ended up working with and this sort of thing. And they've ended up being, in most cases, pretty cool clients and good work for her and everything like that. And one of the things that is the cause of that is, of course, my ENFP power of meeting with people and making those connections and just knowing awesome people that I love getting to know and meeting and then stay in touch with. And these connections become more and more valuable over time. And I'm never saying that you should be friends with people in terms of a connection standpoint. But if you are thinking in terms of the traditional mindset of like, are you investing your time well? Are you developing skills? Are you going to be successful? This sort of way of thinking, which we'll talk about in another video, whether it is a good way of thinking. But if you are thinking about it in that way, keep in mind that these things you're doing that you love doing will be valuable. And maybe the people you're meeting today are just starting out as well. And so you're both struggling and you're both getting started and you're both kind of in those early stages. But 5, 10, 20 years from now, hopefully more like 5 or 10, you're both going to be well on your way to doing what it is you really want to do and be in a great position to support each other as well. So these two ENFP superpowers, the love of learning and the love of meeting and connecting with new people, embrace them. I'm not saying you shouldn't also get to work sometimes. You can't just be partying, meeting people, and reading all day, every day. But definitely embrace them and don't hold back, because the things that you're learning now and the people you're meeting are going to pay off dividends for you for decades to come. I promise you that. Now, I'm going to show you the view here and just mention, as always, if you are new to the channel, do consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting the bell. Here, by the way, when you're subscribing, you can catch a bit of a view of the alien tower there in the background. Do consider, as I said, hitting subscribe, hitting the bell. I publish new videos each and every week. So if this is the first time that you are seeing me, do subscribe. I publish a ton of videos and at this point have a back catalog of maybe 100 or so videos for ENFPs about our awesome personality and how we can be the best versions of ourselves and create an absolutely awesome life built around the ENFP personality. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video soon.